Starburns Audio.
Coming to you live from our houses in Los Angeles, California, it's Nobody Listens to Paula Poundstone, your comedy field guide to life. Tonight, we're going on a vishing expedition. What is vishing? What is pahishing? Who are all those evil goons out there trying to scam me and steal our identities? And does the word paranoia mean anything anymore in a digital age where everyone is out to get you? And by the way, you nobodies, why are you listening in on me? Who sent you? What do you want? Cybersecurity professional Joe Neumann is here to drop knowledge and talk us down. Or maybe he's in on it too. Eek! Plus, break out your granny glasses. It's the return of our Department of Fine Print. Void where prohibited. Some side effects may occur. Call your doctor if you experience an erection lasting more than 4 hours, especially if you don't have a penis. I'm Adam Felber, the man who tries to keep our show securely locked down, free from the corrupting influence of conversational spam and rhetorical malware. And now, please welcome a woman who is basically a human Rickroll, and she really is never going to give you up, even if you ask her to. It's Paula Poundstone.
Yay! Hey, you guys!
Yay on behalf of Tony.
Hey, Adam. Hey, Bonnie. Tony is not feeling well, and so she's not with us. Tony Anita Hall. Hope she gets better quick. And by the way, thanks to tonight's house band, returning champ and nobody, Kathleen Strahm on the violin. Sounds great, Kathleen. Thank you so much for being with us.
Yeah, Kathleen.
Yeah, welcome back, Kathleen. We really do appreciate this.
You know, music is so important. I was working the other day, and I started singing a song from Oliver, and a friend of mine put the song on her, music playing thing, and it was so uplifting. You know the one, who will buy this wonderful feeling? You know that one. And I got thinking about it, and I thought, I'm going to lay a bet that there's at least 3 people among our listeners that played the starring role in Oliver in their high school or junior high or children's theater production of Oliver. And I was thinking, wouldn't it be great if they sent us a tape of them now singing Who Will Buy? And maybe you don't have to sing the whole thing, you guys. You could just do like a part of it and send it in. And if for any reason you happen to have a tape of your performance when you were a kid, that would be great to have a little bit of both.
Ooh, that's a good idea.
It's so uplifting.
This is a very, very specific request, Paula. You're betting on, and we do have tens of thousands of listeners, literally. But I gotta say, the odds that any one of them was Oliver in Oliver, those feel like kind of long odds to me.
No, I think there's going to be 3. What do you want to bet?
I will bet you $1 million, no, $2 million that there's less than 3 are gonna come in.
Okay, you know what? If you're gonna bet $2 million, then I'll just goddamn cheat. I'll just. That's a
I'm
mistake,
not gonna pay
there.
it.
These are difficult times, and I am not above cheating for $2 million. Let me just lay that out there right now.
Well, I am just about $1.99 million short at the moment, but once I win this bet, I'm going to be in the money.
Well, okay, here's maybe a better thing that you could wager.
Okay.
I just started my, really, Wendell did most of the work, but we just started our vermicompost that I'm going to sell worm castings. Remember we had that great guest on that told us about, I think it's Rhonda Sherman, who told us about vermicomposting, which is raising worms on food scraps. And I'm planning on making that $2 million, honestly, by selling worm castings. But you could bet me a couple of nice, juicy red wriggler worms. Maybe that is more.
That's fair.
Okay.
Well, yeah, because that will get you to your $2 million. Let's do that.
Exactly.
So you're saying that at least 3 of our listeners are gonna come and are gonna submit them singing "Who Will Buy" from Oliver.
Yeah.
and are honestly reporting that they were Oliver in it.
Yeah.
Because I want to be really clear with our listeners. If you weren't Oliver in school, then we don't want to hear your rendition of Who Will Buy.
Or a children's production. I would accept because we have like children's theater here in Santa Monica that's not related to the school. I would accept that.
Okay.
No Fagans, no Nancys, no Bills, no Artful Dodgers.
Okay.
I know they're all out there, but just Oliver's and just the song Who Will Buy. I'm telling you, it is so uplifting.
Well, if you're out there and you were Oliver and you want to be part of this and you want to see Paula get $2 million worth of worms, warble a couple of bars. It doesn't have to be a lot of Who Will Buy into your phone or another recording device and email it to us at nobodylistenstopaulapoundstone@gmail.com. And oh boy, that'll be fun. We might even play it on the show.
Oh, we definitely will.
You know what, Paula, speaking of contests, we told everyone we were going to announce the winner of the longest cat competition this week. The person who's going to win a Zoom party with me and you and 50 of their closest friends. But we've decided that since Tony Anita Hull is not here, we're going to put off announcing the winner of the contest until next week so Tony can draw it from the hat and announce.
Oh, that's good, because she should be with us at such an important time.
Oh, absolutely.
And by the way, you don't have to have 50 friends. It's up to 50 friends. So if you don't feel like, oh, I don't know 50 people, and so I couldn't participate.
The last one, which I believe took place mostly in the Portland area, was really, really fun. So
it was fun.
I'm looking forward to it, too.
Yeah. In fact, for a brief while, I moved in with that woman. Do you remember that?
Yes, that was kind of weird because she was not happy about you podcasting from her treadmill in her living room.
Yeah. Boy, is she lucky I moved out because this vermicomposting, can get a little smelly.
You would make the worst roommate ever.
Yeah.
Now that you've added
2 pounds of
vermicomposting
worms.
to your other things. Yeah.
We tumbled 2 pounds of worms into the prepared container yesterday, and they came in a bag of steer manure.
Oh, my God.
So she's really lucky I moved out.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? Because it's time to move things on, I think we're going to go to the book club, shall we?
Oh, let's do it.
I am calling this meeting of the Paula Poundstone Book Club to order.
It's the Nobody Listens to Paula Poundstone Book Club. And sorry, I was already out of order.
No, you have the floor. Old business. Last week we had. No, you know what? Let's go straight to new business. What do you got, Paula?
Well, I'll tell you, I just have a sneaking suspicion that Tony is out because she's doing her Moby Dick reading now. I have no way of proving that. And, she's a lovely person, but I just have a feeling that, she's faking it so that she can get in her reading. So we read chapters 86 through 95.
Yep.
And for those that are reading along with us, I'll tell you this, or for those who are going to catch up, it might have been chapter 85 or around there somewhere. Ishmael discusses at length why Jonah and the whale could or could not have been true. You can skip that chapter, I think. You can also skip the next chapter because he gives a long description of the whale spout and how a whale breathes, which, by the way, is not through its mouth. But I don't think a lot of the science in what he's saying is up to date, so you don't have to read that.
It isn't.
Then we're back to the story, though. You want to join in for this part. The Pequod is among some islands. They are chasing a bunch of whales, and they get chased by some pirates. Then they find a spot that has a bunch of baby whales and mothers. They even pet some of them. I think they strike at some whales and lose them. Then Stubb finds whales that he thinks are their lost whales on a French ship. They're fastened to the side of the French ship. He tricks them into giving up their whales. And the whales contain some stuff called ambergris that's used in perfumes and is very valuable. And Pip, the little black boy on the Pequod, he has to go out on one of the whaling boats, and he's on Stubb's boat. And by the way, Stubb is just obnoxious. He falls out of the boat. He gets scared, actually, and leaps out of the boat. And they pretend they're not going to pick him up. and he's traumatized. And that, I think, is where we left off. By the way, I recognize that there is a tremendous amount of symbolism in these chapters. It's a struggle between man's inner soul and the top tier of the makeup industry. And you can see that if you're reading carefully. Also, and a lot of people miss this, the harpoons are like Matthew McConaughey's Lincoln commercials.
In what way?
They're painful.
Yeah, I think you left off there before we got to chapter 95, Paula, because there's
damn it, did I?
Yeah, you did. There's a whole chapter of like gutting and goring the whales, and Ishmael's really loving reaching into all that spermaceti and squeezing it, and he just gets all rhapsodizing about that for a while.
Didn't he kind of suggest that it was like an aphrodisiac of some sort?
Yeah, he kind of lost his mind a little bit. And then there's the chapter, speaking of aphrodisiac, where we're in the blubber room. And one of the guys in the blubber room who has to do some of the carving skins a whale's penis and wears it as a cloak.
Oh, God.
You know, he cuts little sleeves in it, and as protection from accidentally stepping on stuff or cutting himself. And he wears it, and Ishmael likens it to looking like some kind of heretical pope.
Yeah, I remember that now. Yeah. So there you are. For those who are either cheating and not reading, we've caught you up. For those who are reading, we've still caught you up. And at this point, there's been a lot of mutiny within the Nobody Listens to Paula Poundstone book club. A lot of people saying they're not going to read. And I got thinking about it while I was walking the dog today, and I thought, thank God they're not part of my rock climbing club or my backpacking club. We would just be part way up. I'd turn around and they're gone. We just don't want a backpack. It's a backpacking club. We just don't want to. Well, you know what? I'm not going to belay you after all. Paula, up there on the cliff. Yeah, I'm letting go of the ropes. I just don't feel like it. Okay. All right.
All right. Well, given that, I think there are a lot of betrayals happening here. Let's move it along. Speaking of betrayals, I get where you're going to. Let's go to Bonnie Burns up in, we haven't even introduced her yet. Captain Crinkle, your manager, our friend, and our producer. Bonnie, you're being accused of betrayal?
Well, in some ways I am. But here I am at the book club, and I think I said before that I have stopped reading, but I would be coming to the book club even if we weren't isolated in our houses because I enjoy being around my friends. I wouldn't necessarily be listening to what you're saying. I might be on my computer, but I would be soaking up the ambiance. I was having a pretty good time listening to what Paula was saying until Adam got to all the really specific descriptions, especially the guy cutting off the penis and wearing it around. It was really awful.
Let me just say the whale was already dead.
Okay. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
And I think, Adam mentioned before that, at a certain point you feel like that, okay, Melville's a really good writer. He's very good at description, but I started feeling like, okay, you're showing off. I get it. I know. It's beautiful
Do you
writing.
remember when she would get on and opine about how beautiful a writer he was? And now it's just, now her entire summary is just, ew.
I didn't say that. It's both a classic and overwritten. How about that?
Yeah.
It's an overwritten classic.
I'll say that's absolutely true. And as Paula was saying at the beginning of this mighty voyage we embarked on, he could use an editor.
Yeah. No, he hadn't. His editor was his dad.
Yeah. Here, let me weigh in. And I have a confession to make. And I think I told you guys this. I have been, for the last couple of weeks, occasionally dipping into the chapters but also browsing the summary at SparkNotes and other places because I'm just disgusted by the book at this point. I'm so tired of the relentless gore. And I know, Paula, last week you were saying, it's about a whaling voyage. You knew they were fighting a whale. But yeah, at the same time, has anybody read Old Yeller?
Yeah.
Yeah, now almost everybody goes into Old Yeller, unless you're a kid, knowing how it ends. And it's still beautiful and it's worth reading. However, if I was reading Old Yeller and all of a sudden there were about 60 to 70 chapters of the kid working up the nerve to do what he has to do at the end by just going around the neighborhood and shooting every dog he sees and wearing its penises and stuff, I'd have a right to complain.
Okay, it's not
that's
the
how I
same
see Moby
thing
Dick.
at all. But you know what? My daughter Allie would never watch the movie Old Yeller. But I read the book to them when they were little, and I don't know that they were particularly moved by it, but I could barely get the words out. I was like crying and like choking back tears trying to read Old Yeller, and I think my girls, it was before Thomas was even born, I think, but I think the girls were just like, oh geez. You know, they had no empathy. They were just like, oh, this is a little awkward. Mom's crying over the Old Yeller book again. Yeah, we were better off with Ramona the Pest. All right, well, there we are. Up to chapter 95, fellas.
Yeah, and you know, of course, Tony's not reading, and I want to point out that, like...
No, she's reading it now. She's home reading it now. She's catching up. That's what she's doing.
There's also the existential debate of, you know, if you're listening to a book, are you reading it?
You know, Adam... Sometimes you've asked if we could do the podcast, if we could all be on Zoom so that we could see one another. And I've refused.
Yes.
I've repeatedly refused.
Right.
I'm going to guess right now that you are wearing a whale's penis with holes cut out for your arms.
Why are you guessing that?
I don't know. It just seems... like something you would do.
Well, no, I guess my point about that was that, like, when it comes to the chapter with the whale's penis, I would say if you were listening to it, you wouldn't know what that chapter was about. And I was actually going to ask that question to you guys.
What do you mean?
Because you guys have listened to it and not read it. Yeah. I don't think you would know. He never says...
What are you looking at pictures? No, I knew what it was.
I mean, he never uses any word for penis.
Okay, but why?
I had to look up what he was talking about.
You wouldn't notice that when you're reading the book any more than you would listening? That's absurd.
Well, I was like, I was confused. So I had to, kind of like look up on the internet what's going on here in this chapter.
Mm-hmm. So you had to get an illustrated version, and then you realized that it was the same outfit you had on, and that's when you went, oh, there was a penis.
Well, he doesn't say penis. He doesn't say dork. He says cylindrical. I think the closest he gets to saying it is cylindrical object.
Yeah.
All right. Well, with that, I want to compliment all of us for not getting censured this week.
Yeah. No, we were very orderly. Very orderly.
And so with that, I will call this week's meeting of the Nobody Listens to Paula Poundstone book club that doesn't that isn't really
doesn't read the book.
To a
That's
close.
Fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Paula, what do you got for us vocabulary-wise this week?
Ooh, Adam, I have a word. It's prescribe. It's a verb that means officially forbid something. Here, I'll use it in a sentence. I have tried unsuccessfully to prescribe Googling during our show. Let's put this word gem right into our vocabulary song. This week's word is prescribe. It's a verb that means officially forbid something. No more plastic packaging. Last week's word was preponderance. It's a noun that means the quality or fact of being greater in number, quantity, or importance. You can't have too many people named Hortense. The week before that, the word was pernicious. Pernicious, pernicious. It's an adjective that means having a harmful effect, especially in a gradual or subtle way. I've been staring at Twitter all day. Going back before that, the word was gluckschmerz. Gluckschmerz. It's a noun that means being displeased by an event presumed to be desirable for someone else. How wonderful, you received another trophy for your shelf. And not long ago we had inveigh. It's a verb that means speak or write about someone with great hostility. Sports fans do this when a player doesn't show agility. Let's never forget Gallimaufry, which I pronounced wrong until James Hyder corrected me. It's a noun that means confused jumbler medley of things. Hodgepodge, who's podge, hodgepodge. Adam doesn't think my song is replicable, replicable, replicable. But I do.
Yeah, Paula.
Wow.
Paula.
That was quite a rendition, Paula. Woo! You left it all on the floor there.
I did. It's all over the floor. It's all over the floor with the
I feel
spermaceti.
I think at the end of the next vocabulary song, you should totally pull a James Brown where Wendell runs out and, covers you with a cape and walks you off stage limping, and then you go running back out on stage and play that Glock riff again.
Oh man, that's a good idea. We'll have to do that when we're on Zoom.
And I'm wearing the vest made of a whale penis?
Yeah.
Hey, fun piece of whale trivia. Do you know what a whale penis is called?
No.
A dork.
No, I didn't know that. Oh. Huh.
There you go. That's a fun fact. It's a free extra fun fact. Coming up, W.C. Fields once said, "It's morally wrong to allow a sucker to keep his money." Well, I'm not going to fall for any scams, even if I have to pay some shady dude millions to protect me. Take that. We'll talk cybersecurity next on Nobody Listens to Paula Poundstone. If there's anything we've learned this past year, it's that we have no idea what the future will look like for our kids. I mean, we are clueless, but we have a pretty good idea that tech will only grow and employers will be clamoring for STEM skills more than ever.
STEM skills, STEM skills, STEM skills. That's the employers clamoring.
See?
Yep.
They're clamoring out there. So how can you prepare while making sure your kids are having the fun they deserve today? I recommend Idtex.
Idtex is the world's #1 STEM program for kids and teens aged 7 to 17. Founded, not surprisingly, in Silicon Valley and available to you right at home.
Their instructors are tech rock stars dedicated to helping your child develop skills in coding, AI, game design, and 3D modeling, using tools they genuinely love and may already be using every day, like Roblox and Minecraft. Those are big words in my house. With Idtex online private lessons, you set your own flexible schedule for one-on-one instruction, and you can even bring a sibling or friend along for free.
Or provide your child with a little more structure and socialization with Idtex virtual tech camps. Their small class guarantee means there are around 5 students, and they're very tiny, these students, because it's small classes. There's around 5 students per instructor, so kids will still get plenty of individual attention and support.
Both the online private lessons and virtual tech camps are available for all skill levels, and your kid can get started at any time. So why not something like now? Get your child excited for the future and equip them with the tools to thrive when they get there. Visit idtech.com/Paula today to reserve your child's spot and receive $100 off Idtex virtual tech camps. That's idtech.com/Paula for $100 off. idtech.com/Paula.
We deserve to know what we're putting in our bodies and why, especially when it comes to something we take every day. Ritual's clean, vegan-friendly multivitamin is formulated with high-quality nutrients in bioavailable forms your body can actually use.
Well, I got to tell you something, Paula. Breaking news. Nowadays, Ritual is available for women, teens, and men. And they sent a bottle or two over here, and I've been taking them.
And?
Well, for one, just like you, I like that it's minty and not vitamin-y. That little whiff of mint is very helpful. Now available for women, men, and teens, as I said, Ritual multivitamins are scientifically developed to help support different life stages. And your Ritual multivitamins are delivered to your door every month with free shipping always. You can start, snooze, or cancel your subscription anytime. And if you don't love Ritual within your first month, they'll refund your first order.
Get key nutrients without the BS. Ritual is offering my listeners 10% off during your first 3 months. Visit ritual.com/Paula to start your ritual today.
That's 10% off your first 3 months at ritual.com/Paula.
If you're going to try it anyways, use our code. On this day in unremarkable history, Jane Austen said, "Don't tell anybody, but sometimes I get Pride and Prejudice and Sense and Sensibility mixed up. It's vexing."
Thank you, house band Kathleen Strahm. And we're back. Paula, you and I have something in common in that we're both getting a lot of unusual and unsolicited calls lately. For me, because I recently changed carriers, I
There's one now.
Yeah, there literally was one now. A lot of calls I'm getting are actually being identified by my carrier as Mr. Scam Likely calling me. and I am proud to say that Mr. Likely and I are in business together, and my next check is going to be very big when it arrives.
You know, I used to only get scam calls on my landline, and now they're calling on my cell. I have no idea, how it made that leap.
Well, we are fortunate to have an expert on all that stuff here today. He's a cyber executive advisor at Coalfire Cybersecurity. He's a decorated U.S. Army veteran and cyber operator with over 20 years of experience, serving in over 3 wars where he supported numerous military operations and organizations such as U.S. Cyber Command, NSA, and other intelligence communities. Wow, that's quite a resume. Please welcome Joe Neumann.
Yay!
Thank you, Adam.
Joe, thank
Welcome,
you so
Joe.
much for being here. So I have gotten several calls from an authoritative sounding robot that says law enforcement Department F has a warrant out for my arrest. Should I get a lawyer?
Of course not. And I'm sure along with that, you got the free cruises. The IRS is after you.
Oh, I've gotten the IRS one.
And just, a myriad. Or the latest is kind of Amazon lost your credit card. So can you please give them your new credit card number? Those are kind of like what's spiking currently. My guess is you've had all of those.
And if I just answer the phone, right? I don't call the number they say to call. I mean, my voicemail generally cuts off the number they say to call anyways. But if I just plain answer it, does that get me in deeper?
Yeah, so that's a great question, Paula. So if you can possibly don't answer, right? If it's Mr. Spam and, Google and those other services are saying spam likely, don't pick up. What picking up does is give them a confirmation that there's a live number there.
Uh-huh.
And what they'll do is they'll go sell that to their buddies or other organizations, or, that ruse might not have worked with, we're going to come arrest you, Paula, but, will the Amazon one work, or will, the free cruise one work next time? So basically not letting the attackers know that there's a live person behind that number tends to get them to where they're not going to look at your number again.
Interesting.
And can they be stopped? I mean, is there any end in sight for this stuff?
It's a very difficult situation. The internet was made to be very free and open, ideas moving back and forth and data moving back and forth. So kind of the concept of stopping free thought, now that all phones and everything cross the internet, these most likely, all these attacks, usually originate from overseas. It's going to take, 1, serious legislation and 2, serious politics, along with diplomacy, to actually work with these other governments and such to stop this behavior from happening. Because at the end of the day, we can't block everything, because then nobody's talking.
Is there anyone trying to stop it? I mean, is there some sort of department like Department F, who really have it in for me, by the way? Is there some organization in our government that's trying to stop this?
So if you look at the FTC and the FCC, they made a good, attempt at this, about 10 years or so ago with that National Do Not Call Registry. Unfortunately, that registry kind of got turned on its head. Because, the same way that, legitimate companies like, AT&T or Verizon, subscribe to that list to say, hey, this is who we can't go and solicit stuff to. The attackers do the exact same thing. They go subscribe to the list, but now they have a list of known good numbers. It was a good first attempt. I'm not surprised. Most legislations that have to do with technology and such, they're not really thought out by the most technologically savvy individuals.
Yeah.
So they tend to fall short significantly. And additionally, that's 10-year-old legislation. I think everybody here can kind of say, hey, well, technology in the past 10 years, like your cell phone, that has changed dramatically in just a short amount of time. So, we're expecting legislation and the government to keep pace with technology, and you're feeling the effects of what happens when it lags behind significantly.
Yeah.
Well, you know what I fell for too was on my fax machine, and yes, I still have a fax machine. On my fax machine, I would get these faxes that it was, were advertisements, and then at the bottom there would be a thing that says, if you call this number, if you want to be taken off this list.
Yeah.
And so I did call the number, and it doesn't do anything at all. I think what it does is just what you're saying. It tells them there's a person here that's looking at this, that's getting these things. So I think it just increases it. It's like cutting off the head of a two-headed thing where it just grows more.
It's like jumping into an urban alley at night, in a sketchy neighborhood and saying, I am not interested in anybody coming to take my giant wad of money.
Yeah.
And Adam, that's a great analogy, right? So, I always say, the internet is a gigantic, open pit. There is no bad neighborhood that you can avoid, right?
Right.
The bad neighborhoods are everywhere. Roaming thieves move up and down the internet freely. So just because of that free flow of movement and that type of stuff really allows the bad person to come right to your doorstep, no question. Right. There are no, cyber police that can roam everywhere. Cyber goes across, different countries with different laws. It changes based upon IP address or where you're specifically sitting. So it's a very fast, dynamic moving item. So
are there any cyber police? I mean, the truth is, like, we all laugh about the IRS thing. We've all gotten that IRS thing, and yet nobody has been able to stop them.
So look out lately in the past few weeks, Department of Justice is trying to spin up some things that try to chase down some of these, bad malicious actors, not specifically the people that are phoning you, because, it is very, damaging. They say they estimated approximately $2 billion worth of U.S. equity.
Wow.
It is poached. And that's money that's never coming back.
Wow.
And
Wow.
Just depending on how much, griping people do and how much it starts affecting, the bottom dollar is when you'll start seeing probably more things happen. I mean, DOJ is looking at ransomware. As of this week or so, they're building up a joint task force.
What is ransomware?
So ransomware, that's a whole segment in itself, Paula. If you go look in the news, usually, ransomware is the new hotbed where adversaries actually send malicious code or malicious application to a company. You could download it or misclick something on the internet. And what it does is it actually locks up your entire computer and it displays a message saying, pay me this money.
Wow.
You see it hitting healthcare companies. It hits everybody. People pay ransom. Just, it's like
they will pay it, right?
They will pay it. And I applaud companies that don't pay it and say, go away. Because the problem is, as soon as you start paying it out, that just encourages the bad behavior, right?
But can they get their data back if they don't pay the ransom, or is it just they have to start all over again?
So they use encryption, and usually sometimes it's extremely heavy, and it's pretty much gone at them at that point. That's why when you hear like, do backups and, back up to different areas. That's one of the reasons where it's like, have a good backup program.
Wow. If I get hit, there's no telling how many cat videos are irreplaceable. Look, so I have an assistant, Wendell, and he's very good at computer stuff. And every now and then we work side by side, and every now and then I'll be on my computer and I'll sort of make a hemming sound of some sort, or say I wonder what this is. And he jumps up from his chair and he yells, "Don't touch it!" And he dismantles it like he's on a bomb squad. And a lot of times it turns out it was something I shouldn't click on. But what if Wendell isn't around? Are there rules of thumb about how to identify this kind of stuff where, you click on it and everything comes apart? Or how to identify even the phone call stuff?
Yep. So both those type of concepts, the phone, what we call vishing, and malware and that type of stuff that come in, there's a really good rule of thumb, which is don't open things, don't answer things from people you don't know. if you can, if they're not in your phone book, let them leave a message and it go to voicemail, right? Call them back or reach back out. Like, specifically like the Vishin, Amazon calls you, says they lost your credit card. That's great. Voicemail can answer that one. Mm-hmm. You can then go on Amazon.com, look up their phone number, and you call Amazon because that's a known number that you call. The same way with the IRS, go look up their number and you make contact with them. Don't let them make contact with you. The same, kind of proposition we've been told as a kid, like you don't take candy from strangers. Like, why are we listening and opening emails up from strangers?
Honestly,
Right.
Candy could still work on me. I love candy. The Amazon thing doesn't work on me because I have Jeff Bezos' phone number. And if there's any problem, he will just call me directly.
Right.
Jeff and I, we're very close.
Not all of us are that fortunate, Paula. So.
Abraham Lincoln once famously said, you can fool some of the people all of the time and all of the people some of the time. And then I stopped listening because I got an email from a Nigerian prince who was going to make me rich. Paula will have more with Joe Neumann, and I'll be out on my yacht when we come back. See ya, suckers. The cat of the week is Butters from Frisco, Texas.
Have you heard about this company, Rothy's, making stylish, sustainable shoes and bags? Rothy's carefully crafts with eco-friendly materials like repurposed plastic water bottles and marine plastic.
Rothy's has transformed nearly 100 million bottles into beautiful shoes, handbags, and face masks. Washable, durable, and flexible, Rothy's signature thread made from repurposed plastic water bottles minimizes their impact on the planet and maximizes comfort for you. And for Paula.
Do they ever? I have a pair of Rothy's shoes, and they're flats, so there's no like bad stuff for your feet. But they're so comfortable, and they're a cinnamon color. Mine are, but they have a variety of colors and patterns, and you can actually throw them in the washing machine. I mean, not for sport, but if they get dirty. Toss them in the washing machine.
It's a great feature. And Jeannie has a pair. They're good looking, and I'm told it's nothing at all like wearing a water bottle. Check out all the amazing shoes, bags, and masks available right now at rothys.com/nobody. That's rothys.com, ROTHYS.com/nobody.
Style and sustainability meet to create your new favorites. Head to rothys.com/nobody today. If you're going to try it anyways, use our code.
And we're back with Joe Neumann. Joe, this is really fun. How do I know if I'm talking to a bot?
Yeah, so as you kind of hear the catchphrases, AI and machine learning, bots have gotten a little more sophisticated, right?
Oh,
so
that one,
right.
The one the lady's always chuckling, and she says, it's harder to get you on the phone than it is to get my kid to clean their room. Have you had that one? Oh my God, I've had it multiple times.
Are you kidding?
No.
Paul, have you had the advanced one where they actually ask you questions to respond yes and no to, or other type of responses? Because those are the more advanced ones.
Yes.
Because what they're trying to do is record your voice, and they'll go replay it back to a bank and try to open accounts up with your bank.
Oh, I didn't know that.
With your voice recognition. Yeah, that one's floating around.
I only knew about the robot voices because of wait, don't tell me. They played it one time when I was on. They played one of them. And so the first time I thought that's what it was, I said, "You sound like a computer." And the thing went, "Ha, ha, ha. No, I'm a real person." And then the next thing I just say is, you can go fuck yourself. And so if my bank calls upset with me, then I'll know they used that.
I'm boggled because I've never heard any of these fake people on a Vishin thing, because I just never pick up the phone unless it's from somebody I know.
Oh, I don't. Yeah, no, I've talked to any number of computers. You have to keep in mind, I live alone. And so sometimes just out of sheer loneliness, I tell the computer, the computer voice, where it can reach me at another time. I just say, "Can you call later?" Yeah, no, that is so depressing. So if you talk to it at all, it uses your voice to...
Yeah, so just like Alexa, it can, analyze your voice and respond to commands. These more advanced, attackers and such have the exact same technology to where it actually can analyze what you're saying, have a canned response for one or two keywords or such. It just really depends on how much time and effort, the attacker specifically put into their ruse. And it's obviously making them money or else they would stop doing it.
Right. They're very chuckly, listeners. They do a lot of chuckling. That's a big clue right there.
I've never encountered the chucklers.
There's a lot of...
I didn't know.
Now, what about password management? There are those companies that keep track of your password, but then haven't you given your password to a company? That doesn't sound right.
So great conversation on that one, Paula. I mean, if you look at the password management companies, there was one that was actually breached in the past week or so.
Oh, geez.
So that really has that industry kind of going, the way I look at it is passwords are very important to, be long and complex. And what I mean by that is have, numbers, uppercase, lowercase, and special characters and such. And so the problem is though, Paula, as soon as you get really long passwords that are complex, you start forgetting them, right?
Yeah.
And additionally, if one thing gets broken into, it's very common for attackers to turn around and use it somewhere else. So you should have different passwords on everything. So that's kind of the market that password managers, fill, is that it'll randomly assign a password and fill it in for you. So that's really good. I mean, I'm getting a little older in age. And, I'm not going to remember all these complex passwords. I mean, I think I looked at my password manager. I use them myself the other day, and I have some 200-300 passwords in there.
Oh, my gosh. I can't remember. And, my kids had to wear name tags when they were living with me. I can't remember stuff.
It's all about, in that password manager having one really long and complex password. And then, as a common good hygiene, what we call two-factor authentication. You go online, you have your username, you type in your password, and then, you have your cell phone or something that, you have to basically, put in a text message, that it sends you a code or something to type in, or you go and download that. Usually a lot of those password managers have, third-party applications you can download and sync up with their app. And it, says, hey, did you log in? Yes, I did. And it lets you on. I think a lot of people on this phone use Google or like Gmail and such. They have like push notifications where it says, you just logged onto a computer that you never logged onto. Was this you? And those types of things are very important to automatically, you are guarding the keys to your castle, right? All of your passwords. So you want to make sure like a password manager password is very, very strong and has more than one level of authentication to it.
It's like having a moat.
Yep.
What should we be doing with our stuff to keep our computers and phones clean? Like, what are best practices?
Yeah. So, good cyber hygiene, it's simple things.
Ooh, cyber hygiene.
Yeah, cyber hygiene. So, good things like don't download and click on links in emails unless you know who it's from. And if you do have to go to those sites, go look it up yourself. Only trust good content from those that are a trusted source. When you're going online, and looking at, you get warnings and all sorts of things that are now being built into browsers. Actually, just think about those before you click OK.
What kind of warnings? What do they say?
So, so the latest one I think everybody's been seeing, lately is kind of like the cookie blank thing that comes up and everybody's like,
okay, and what is a cookie?
I always say yes, and I never, ever, ever get a cookie.
Yeah, honestly.
So Adam and Paula, so when you go to Amazon and, you save something or you put something in your checkout shopping cart or you look at something and then you close it out and then you go back like 2 weeks later. Have you ever found it interesting how Amazon's like, are you sure you don't want to buy this?
Oh, right. Uh-huh.
So what a cookie is basically it's a thing that resides on your system that you actually download that has some website information in it specifically that tells the site about yourself. So when you can go back and visit, preferences or ways that you want the site to be presented to you or data or, certain things in a shopping cart, that type of thing is stored on a cookie. So, recently GDPR, which is the European Union's privacy law, the European Union has been pushing some heavy privacy laws lately, said that companies storing this type of information or requiring you to download a cookie to view their site is now an invasion of privacy to a degree.
Oh, I love that. Will we do that?
So there are some of those legislations that different states have. California has one called the CCPA. New York does. There's about 32 other states. But as you know, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying states. I'm not saying country, right? So when it comes to privacy law and that type of thing, it's very, disparate right now. Surprisingly, both sides of the aisle haven't spent time to get together and solve the bigger problems.
Shocking.
Vishing to phishing to, they're too busy chasing other problems versus what you and I are seeing every day, right? But how many of those people actually, use technology and don't have somebody else do it for them right now?
Right. I was about to say, what do you think the percentage of Congress that does their own, email or even Twitter or, that does anything with their own computer? What do you think the percentage is?
I mean, the average age of Congress is what? Late 70s now or something?
Yeah.
No, it's the average age now is 100 and fuck, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, it's ancient, right? Computers when Jesus was walking time period. So,
Right.
Because of that, most of them can't even probably turn on a computer. Thank God they have their aides that, are only, in their 20s that actually tell them how things, God forbid when they retire, if they ever retire. I don't think I've ever seen a congressman retire or anything lately, because they wouldn't be able to know how to actually use email by themselves. So they're not riddled by these problems. And obviously, people that are paying their doles like Bezos, he handles his own email. So I'm sure he's fine.
Oh, he does. And he responds immediately to mine.
It's good to know.
I contacted him the other day because I didn't have enough money for a strawberry at Whole Foods. And he kicked in the other $15, which I thought was really great.
Nice.
No, it's actually a beautiful store. But yeah, my neighbors and I one summer went in on one strawberry together. And it was delicious.
Yes.
Don't get me wrong.
Hey, Joe, is it better practice, like some people say, to use operating systems that are a little less common than others, or browsers that are less common than others? Like, is a Unix or a Mac more secure than somebody who's running Windows?
People are always saying the fight, are Macs more secure than Windows systems or Linux systems and such. And what it boils down to is where's the money at, Adam? So most systems and most data is transmitted on Windows desktops and systems, right?
Right.
Well, did you read that a couple of weeks ago, Chuck Grassley from Iowa got in a bar fight over just this issue?
Who won, Paula? I mean, that's a good question.
Chuck went down swinging. It's something
he's
he feels so strongly about.
Fuck right now, right?
Yeah, he is.
So because all that data and everything, when you look at accounting systems and you look at, HR systems, things that are worth money, right, to sell, they tend to go through a Windows system. So a lot of adversaries and attackers spend a lot of time and effort specifically, looking at and trying to break into and find vulnerabilities on Windows systems. But recently we've seen a big uptick on, more and more corporations, that are doing business with Macs and such. And because of that, you're starting to see more vulnerabilities and more things, prop up in that market. So the question is one more secure or is one just, about more of the vulnerabilities? And I think the latter is the case. Is they just happen to know that there's more vulnerabilities because more people are poking at it.
Right.
Either way, systems all have their flaws. They're all programmed by people. And last time I checked, my business is booming. And it's not because things are becoming more secure, right? More money, more things are going online,
right?
Which is just forcing more people to adapt. And, how many banks have you seen robbed lately, right? It's pretty low. But how many people have you heard about getting money taken from online? Adversaries and those bad people are just migrating to a new ground.
Then I might rob a bank because, they may have let their guard down.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Now that not
they might
so
be just
many
protecting the
people are.
computers and not protecting just the vault.
Exactly. I mean, I wouldn't do it violently. I would just, strolling.
Yeah.
So does that mean you go pay your taxes or something with a big bag of cash, like, Scrooge McDuck or something? I mean, you're going to be carrying around lots of cash at that point. So
I love cash. I don't understand people turning their backs on cash. I love cash.
how are you paying things during the pandemic then, Paula?
Well, I don't buy many things. I mean, I don't pay bills with cash, and I use a credit card at the grocery store. And outside of that, I don't buy anything at all.
Yeah, and that's why the adversaries have kind of really, and these attackers have, hit their prime during COVID. Cash,
I guess you're right.
Cash and carry is going away for the most part. I'm now having to we've always seen and heard about how dirty cash is, right? How many germs are on it. This has kind of spotlighted that, and like you're seeing tap to pay. Have you guys seen that yet? Where you're not even having to insert a card anymore to most of your things.
Yeah.
You can do the tap to pay.
I do that all the time.
And there's a whole bunch of issues with that, by the way, Adam, that are emerging. So
With NFC stuff?
What's that?
So near field communication. You've gone to like a hotel and they handed you that card, and you don't have to slide the card. You just have to like touch the card within like an inch or two of the fob, right? Those are all using different types of NFC type communication, right?
Oh.
So like I have, sitting next to my desk I have a nice big NFC reader that I slide into my briefcase, and I can sit in basically an elevator with somebody and bump into them with my briefcase, and it'll actually start grabbing those type of key cards and such using different types of NFC and near field.
Oh my gosh.
Can that happen to the NFC stuff on your phone? Because I love paying with Apple Pay on my iPhone because then I don't have to touch anything.
So that type of communication is a lot more secure. However, it's a very, very new concept and a new technology that's only really been out for a few years and such. So, as soon as more of the market shifts that way, which it will, as I think COVID will push the market specifically in that way, I think we'll start seeing more vulnerabilities and risks specifically with attacks with that technology.
Well, I just want to say to the listeners that if anybody is concerned that your money is dirty because it's been touched by so many people, you can drop it off at my house in Santa Monica. That's fine. I'd be happy to have it. And also, I'm not afraid of dirty money. Don't worry. If there was that tap card, NF, whatever you're saying, technology in the movie Oliver, it really would have changed the who will buy scene.
Yes, absolutely. Apple Pay would have changed everything there.
Yeah.
Well,
who will buy this wonderful feeling? Just tap it. Just tap it. I have one of those tap cards. I have never once been able to make it work. Every single time, they're like, just tap. No, turn it a little bit. No, just tap. I'm like, you know what? Can't I just give it to you and you can do it?
Well, Joe Neumann, that was excellent. And now we're going to take everything that we just learned from you and we're going to run it through a super high-tech machine known as the old Poundstonator. Paula?
House band Kathleen Strahm, you sound fantastic. Thank you so much for being here. If I could get a little background music, I'll tell you what the old Poundstonator spit out. Joe Neumann, thank you so much. This has been so informative. I realize now I have been handling my security poorly. My email password is someday my Nigerian prince will come with one letter uppercase that I'm not going to tell you. I know now not to answer the phone if it's not someone I know. Just let it go to voicemail. That's going to be a hard habit to break, though, because I'm always hoping Barbara Streisand will call me, and I just don't think she would leave a message. Full disclosure, though, I've made bigger mistakes than that. I used to answer the phone saying, "Hi, this is Paula Poundstone at 574 Pearl Street in Santa Monica. My mother's maiden name is Folsom. She lives at 299 Willowbrush Road in Colby, Missouri. Her phone number is 794-822-9494. She doesn't see well out of her left eye. She's out on Tuesday nights, and she has an electronic fake dog barking box. If you're calling about work, my manager is Bonnie Burns. She can be reached at 213-924-0561. Her social security number is 062-849765. And she has really expensive porch furniture in her backyard at 12 Rainbow Lane, Thousand Oaks, California. You can't miss it. It's the house with the crinkly noise.
He's a cyber executive advisor for the threat vulnerability and management practice at Coalfire, and he has been amazing. Thank you so much, Joe Neumann. There's so much to talk about with you, and I hope you'll come back sometime.
Joe, this has been fantastic. I feel so bad that while we distracted you, I hacked you. Spring is here and summer is just around the corner. I know this because my children and I spend a lot of time looking at calendars. As we come to the end of the school year, why not gift your young inventors with super cool STEAM projects to celebrate? With a KiwiCo subscription, your child gets a new crate full of fun science and art projects every month, for trailblazing toddlers to more experienced explorers and every stage in between.
Oh, you know what? I've got a lot planned this summer. Obviously, lots of physical activities, but I have been really grateful during this pandemic that we've had KiwiCo as a sponsor, because there have been genuinely fun things that have arrived at my door. Vivian got this crate that we did together that makes this little, like, I guess you call it a puppet or a doll that climbs up a rope, with leverage and friction. It was really, really cool.
It's a cat burglar trainer. I like that.
Yeah.
Cultivate your child's natural creativity and curiosity with new hands-on projects every month. From sailing the solar system to building an animation machine and more.
There's no telling what a KiwiCo kid can do. Kickstart curiosity, creation, and innovation in kids today and discover a brighter tomorrow. Get 30% off your first month plus free shipping on any crate line with the code Paula at KiwiCo.com.
That, by the way, is 30% off your first month at KIWICO.com, promo code Paula. If you're going to try it anyways, use our code. Self-care and routine are more important than ever. Whatever you're using to get ready for the day should make you feel amazing. If you have really sensitive skin or really thick hair like I do, you probably could never find a razor that could do the job. I get guys from the forestry department. Meet Billy, the best razor out there for those days when you want an extra smooth shave. No pink tax, no visit to the drugstore, no breaking the bank.
You can go to mybilly.com to get their starter kit for just $9. It's so affordable and includes their award-winning razor, 2 refill blades, and a cult favorite magnetic holder.
I'm not ashamed to say that I'm part of this cult. It gives you the smoothest shave ever. I'm going to tell you something that I don't tell just everyone. I let months go by before I shave my legs. Sometimes even years. This Billy razor had quite a job to do when it got started. My dog stood in the doorway of the shower yelling, "Timber!" I got the smoothest shave ever. I couldn't believe how soft my legs were. I'm touching them now, honestly.
Hey, go to mybilly.com to meet the razor that made everyone start talking about razors. They're an Allure Best of Beauty winner and on Nylon's beauty hit list for a reason.
And to express a little love for our show, go to mybilly.com/Paula. It's a small way you can support us while getting the best razor you'll ever own. It's just $9 to get your starter kit, plus free shipping. Always go to mybilly.com/Paula, spelled my, BILLIE.com/Paula.
If you're going to do it anyway, just use our code. Fun fact, unlike most four-legged mammals, cats have 5 toes on their front paws, but only 4 on their back paws. So don't ask them to count past 18. And we're back. Paula, it's time for one of our most popular news segments. It's the Department of Fine Print.
I love the Department of Fine Print.
I do too, but I'm shocked that Bonnie Burns has not broken in with a hastily composed theme song yet. Bonnie?
No,
I never thought I'd ask
waiting
this,
to
but
I was waiting to be invited. Okay, I have a
I shouldn't have said
song.
anything. Okay, go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead and invite me.
Bonnie, now you're going to make me do this. Bonnie, would you favor us with the
Thank
theme
you.
song?
Okay. You better watch out. You could lose a leg, you could lose an eye, or you could even die if you don't read the fine print. Take it away.
Wow. That was memorable. That was fantastic.
I thought it was pretty good.
That's pretty...
I thought it was good too.
Thank you, Senator Klobuchar, for being with us. Yeah, keep working on the robocall thing, by the way, because we want to be
Yeah.
done with the robocalls.
We really need that to happen. All right, well...
I have a fine print thing.
Okay, let's clarify for our listeners.
Certainly.
The Department of Fine Print is we just went and looked at various objects around our house and found the smallest, finest print, and sometimes it was ridiculous, sometimes it was funny, and sometimes it was informative, and that's why it's the Department of Fine Print. What have you found, Paula?
I bought a Flonase knockoff, nasal spray, and there's a section of it that says "Stop and ask doctor if," and one of the things under that was you get a constant whistling sound from your nose.
What? What?
I thought I snorted one of the seven dwarves, but it turns out... No, it turns out that it was from the Flonase knockoff.
Wow.
Yeah, you can get a constant whistling sound.
I would absolutely love to know what that is a symptom of.
It means you snorted grumpy. That's what it means. And then I read one on the there's like a hair stuff, like a ointment of some sort that you rub into your hair after you dye your hair. And in the instructions, it says leave on for 2 minutes, rinse, and then style hair as usual. Because if you choose a different hairstyle at that point in the process than you usually wear, your hair will just fall out.
Or it'll catch fire. Yeah, absolutely. You have to use the regular style or your hair will freak out.
People don't want to see you in a different hairstyle after you use this stuff in your hair. You just leave it on for 2 minutes, rinse, and then return to the hairstyle you had before. It's so important.
Did it then add, then nobody gets hurt?
Yeah, and then it said, during the 2 minutes, you might want to whistle with your nose. That's something you could do to entertain yourself during those 2 minutes.
Hey, Bonnie Burns.
Yes, Adam.
Up in the Simi Valley, what fine print have you discovered?
Well, I saw a sticker for your gun safe that says, contains black powder.
For your what?
For your gun safe. It's a gun safe sticker.
What's a gun safe sticker?
No.
What's a gun safe?
It's a sticker for your gun safe. The safe where you put your guns.
Do you have a gun
Don't
safe?
act like everyone knows what that is.
I'm just telling
Bonnie,
you.
I'm going to call some bullshit here.
No.
I feel like you might have found something on the internet, but you didn't find this on your gun safe,
No,
did you?
I wouldn't have a gun safe. I did find it on the internet. It's for people with
She just
a gun
leaves her
safe.
gun out. Her gun's just sitting on her bedside table, or it's outside beside her expensive porch furniture.
She's got a bucket on her porch that says, take a gun, leave a gun.
My friends have made fun of me for the Butterfingers not turning out right and going, oh, you have to be very precise when you make candy. One of them really has a big storage of guns to the point of where if the police come to her house, she has to go, okay, look, I'm just warning you that I have a big stash of guns. And I'll put them out on the bed in my bedroom.
And she puts them out
so
on
the
the
police
bed
come
her
into the
bedroom?
house and she says, I'm gonna go put my guns on the bed and then you guys can come in?
Well, it's something like that. I don't know. But she has to put them on the bed.
Yeah.
That's how many she has.
Why do you have to put them on the bed?
What do I care? What do I care? I don't have guns. I don't want guns. I don't want to be around guns. But I've heard the story. She has a lot of guns.
It's a weird story, but okay.
No, she's a very nice person. That's not the point.
Oh, I'm sure.
There's gun safes, like safes for keep your guns so that they're safe and don't hurt
Only
people.
the nicest people have 16 guns. Let's just say it.
Let's call it what it is.
Can I just get to the fucking, what the stupid fucking sticker says for your gun
would you?
safe? Okay.
Please.
Here's what it says.
I'm sure that Glock playing is helping not drive you crazy, Bonnie.
Absolutely. Okay. It says.
Just the worst thing ever.
She only likes the kind of Glock that her friend has.
Oh, my God.
Okay.
Why?
The sticker says contains black powder. Will you shut up?
Yeah, Paula, that is the worst. Just stop.
The only thing that's missing right now is you starting to sing, "Here he comes again," so that I can't get it out of my head.
Here you come again.
Oh, God. Okay, here we go.
Who will
Contains
buy
black...
Bonnie's friend 16 guns? Who will buy? Okay, go ahead.
Adam. Okay.
My hands are tied, Bonnie. Welcome to my world. Go ahead. What's on the gun safe sticker?
Gun safe sticker. I know she's going to do something. I just
try
know
try
it.
to stay calm and carry on.
Contains black powder and other explosive materials. Cutting or torching will result in an explosion so far as causing serious injury or death.
Oh, so if somebody was going to cut or burn their way into your guns in your gun safe, it's a sticker that tells them
it caused an explosion that would be so far it would cause serious injury or death.
You know what I have on my money safe? I just have a sticker that says, "I'll kick your ass." And that seems to be enough.
I'm going to go on a limb and say that warning sticker on the gun safe isn't for people who are trying to steal your guns. That's for people who are like, "Oh no, I can't remember the combination to my gun safe. I think I'll take a torch and try to weld my way in." Wait a minute, what does this sticker say? Don't do that, dumbass. Huh.
Yeah. You might want to tell your new best friend, 16 Gun Sally, that she needs to tell her to write the combination on the back of her hand or she's going to get hurt.
Okay.
Here's the one I have, and I'm not going to read you the whole thing because it's just so long, but I was looking at a package of light bulbs that I bought the other day, and they're these fantastic new LED light bulbs that last forever.
Right.
And don't use a lot of power. Well, there's this long thing that starts like this. This equipment generates, uses, and can radiate radio frequency energy, and if not installed and used in accordance to these instructions, may cause harmful interference to radio communications. It goes on to say that if you're getting bad radio or television reception in your house, it could be your light bulb.
Wow. So if you can't get your oldies station?
Yeah, so I'm thinking that maybe that shouldn't be in tiny, tiny print. Because if my radio is all staticky, I never think like, well, are there any light bulbs nearby that might be interfering?
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought of that. What kind of light bulb is that again?
An LED light bulb.
LED. Those last so long. I think they should be like the Stanley Cup, where you write on them where they've been, and who was the last owner.
Yeah, that would be great because they get passed down from generation to generation.
Precisely. They fuck up radios and television transmission all over. No, you're right. I never would have thought of that. You'd think that smart TVs are smart enough. I don't know about radios, but that smart TVs are smart enough that a thing would come up on the screen saying, the light bulb's fucking me up.
Yeah, your light bulb's fucking me up. Do something about that or I will.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Do something about that or I'll take a torch to your gun safe.
And then we'll see who wins.
16 Gun Sally.
Here's something fantastic is after we did the our first Department of Fine Print, a whole bunch of nobodies, unsolicited, wrote in through email and to our Facebook page and gave us their fine print that they'd found. So I thought maybe we could go through some of them right now.
That's a
Yeah,
great
they're
idea.
so much fun to read. You can't help yourself
Thank you.
reading the fine print now.
Yeah. Okay, so nobody David W. found this fine print on his tuna. Ingredients: solid white tuna, water, salt. Contains tuna.
Oh, yeah. Sometimes it's not enough to say it once.
I mean, I know I was buying a can of tuna fish, but I didn't know it contained tuna. I'm suing.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah,
It's tuna,
I hear ya.
Tuna. Soon they're going to have an electric can that the whole time you're opening it, it keeps going. There's tuna in here. There's tuna in here.
If you don't like tuna, don't open me.
Yeah.
Don't. I hope you like tuna because that's what you're getting.
Tuna,
All right.
tuna.
So several nobodies sent in this one. We're going to credit, though, Phil Candrava. On the bottom of my coffee mug, it says, "For best results, use other side." I'm going to go ahead and say that's an intentional joke, though, right?
No, it's a coffee mug made specifically for people sobering up after a long night.
Here's one I like from Mary O'Neill. Saw a sign at a meat counter. It read, "We shave our ham daily."
That is such a gross idea
Yeah,
of hairy ham.
I know. I mean, I know what they're trying to say, but at the same time,
Yeah. I think they could find a better way to say it.
nobody named Sunny Day says, "You know something is good when one of the ingredients is love." This was for hummus ingredients list, made with love, chickpeas, sesame oil, etc.
And among the etc. was hate and venom. They just didn't say it. Isn't it
Yeah.
Subaru who always says, what's in love's part of a Subaru?
It's love that makes us Subaru, something like that, yeah.
Yeah, it's love that makes a Subaru. I would want to pull into the Subaru service and say, I think the love's broken.
Hey, Brooke Ratliff wrote, on a pair of jeans, warning, this zipper may harm your penis.
Wow. That is so frank.
Yeah. I mean, my first piece of advice to anyone is wear underwear before you zip your pants.
This is,
It's
yeah.
just practical tip from me to you. But I guess some jean company got sued because somebody zipped their
Wow.
privates.
Yeah. I'll bet they wore only elastic banded pants after that. That was the end of that.
You're right. I like this one from Leslie Popham. On a frozen pizza, it said, "Do not eat frozen pizza."
All right. I was picking up some frozen pizza doughs one day. It's a long story as to why. But, okay, they were in a box from the manufacturer, big box, in fact, several boxes of frozen pizza doughs. And on the side of the box, it says, "Do not eat uncooked pizza dough." So I said to the guys that were loading them into my car, I said, "Oh, look, it says do not eat uncooked pizza dough." And I was like sort of mocking it. And one of the guys said to me, "Oh, I did that once." When he was a kid, he ate frozen pizza dough and Kool-Aid, by the way. And he ended up in the hospital. Apparently, it's a very important thing. Do not eat frozen pizza.
I just don't know that anybody, I wouldn't realize that. I think that's what that sign was saying on Leslie Popham's pizza box. I think it was just limited command of English. The warning probably was supposed to read, "Do not eat pizza frozen."
Ooh, I see what you're saying. That
Yeah.
would have been a better way to do it. But
Right.
yeah, just to reinforce that point, apparently it can really mess with your gizzard.
All right.
What does Rafaela Woods say?
Yeah, this is the last one. I do like this one. Although I'm kind of skeptical that this is really true, but Rafaela, I apologize for pre-doubting your veracity. Washing instructions for child shirt in this order: wash inside out, cool wash, remove child.
Oh, that's probably prevented some nasty accidents.
Yeah.
Because if you don't turn that shirt inside out,
I'm worried about just somebody trying to turn her shirt inside out while it's still on the child.
yeah. Okay, I have to say, there's one here from Pam Palmquist Bingham. How rich are they? Pam Palmquist Bingham. She says her faves are gluten-free on things like dish detergent. I totally agree. They always write gluten-free on shit that wasn't going to have gluten to begin with. Like I have a gluten-free DVD. Now, there's no gluten in a DVD.
You don't have a gluten-free DVD.
I do. Go ahead. Just ask me.
Do you have a gluten-free DVD?
I do.
Well, I stand corrected. I'm sorry. That brings us to the end of our Department of Fine Print. And hey, nobodies, if you want to submit your fine print, there's a place for that. You can do it on our Facebook page or send it to nobodylistens@gmail.com. All right, Bonnie, take us out.
I was just going to say I could recap the song.
That's a good idea.
Go ahead.
You could lose a leg. Oh, no, wait. I can't start that way. Okay, hold on. You better watch out. You could lose a leg. You could lose an eye or even die. No, wait. Okay, I had that wrong. Wait. You better watch out. You could lose a leg. You could lose an eye or you could even die if you don't read the fine print.
Yeah!
Thank you.
Wow.
That was
Fun.
unbelievable.
Nobodies, if you have questions or comments or you just want to bitch about how we run our book club like the rest of us do, send that to nobodylistens@Poundstone@gmail.com.
I don't want to hike. I don't want to belay anybody. On the rock climbing club, I don't want to climb or belay anybody. And on the backpacking club, I don't want to carry a backpack. And I don't want to hike.
No, but they're horrible people, and he didn't have to go on that long.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are not going back into the book club. We left that back in our first segment, and part of me is going to be there forever.
It's the knitting club.
At least we have the nerve to not
I don't want to use
Moby
yarn.
Dick.
I don't want to make a sweater. I don't want to use a pattern. Here's the Nobody Listens to Paula Poundstone Wine Club. I'm sober.
When are we going to get to the dessert?
Paula, for God's sakes, tell me what's going on in the Poundstone product empire this week.
Adam! Poundstone Industries, also known as Lipstick Nancy Incorporated, is blowing up like a balloon. The audio version of my book, The Totally Unscientific Study of the Search for Human Happiness, which was among 5 nominees for Audio Book of the Year at the Audio Awards, is available at the store at paulapoundstone.com. I can also make custom video messages for listeners, friends, and loved ones at cameo.com/PaulaP33. That's cameo.com/PaulaP33. And I'll soon be launching my subsidiary company, Paula Poundstone is a Poophead, selling worm castings for gardening. There's more, of course, but Heidi.
And decorum. I want to remind everybody that because Tony Anita Hull was missing this week, we did not announce the winner of our longest cat contest, but a winner has been selected, and we will let you know who that winner is next week on the show. Okay, subscribe to this podcast. It's free. You'll get it every week at no charge. If there's a subject or topic you'd like to know about, we're at nobodylistens@gmail.com, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is our show. Nobody Listens to Paula Poundstone is hosted by Paula Poundstone and yours truly, Adam Leffelber. Special thanks to our guest, Joe Neumann.
Yay! He was great.
And thanks to house band Nobody, Kathleen Strahm on the violin.
Fantastic, Kathleen. Thank you.
Our show is produced by Paula Poundstone, Adam Felber, Bonnie Burns, Ken Lezebnik, and Tony Anita Hull. Intern is Carly Patron. Starburns production by Land Romo and Sam Dunwald. Transcription services for the show provided by Transcribe Me, a premier internationally used transcription service. Use code Paula Poundstone when placing your order at transcribeme.com to receive an expedited service.
That's our show for tonight. Won't somebody please listen to me?
Paula, you're not going to believe this.
What?
But there's tuna all over my tuna fish.
Oh, damn it. Did you read the label?
I know. I didn't. Well, who reads the label? I just thought it was a can of tuna. And then I opened it up, and it's literally covered in tuna.
You know what I'm just reading now on my dog's collar?
What's that?
There's really tiny print that says, "Do not put around neck of dog."
Oh, man.
Yeah, that's just doesn't seem intuitive, does it?
I know. It's a dog. It's totally counterintuitive.
Yeah.
Does your dog contain tuna?
Smells like it.
No.
Smells like tuna.
That should be on the collar, too, then.
Yeah.
Warning,
And he also
contains tuna.
he has a sign on his head that says "Do not pet."
Jesus.
Come on.
He put that there.
I'll tell you what, he didn't write that.
Starburns Audio, a podcast network.